Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to our pitch day. As you know, we go live every Tuesday, 5 p.m. UK time. We stream online, of course, on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. And we do support founders wherever they are in the world. Today, we cover pretty much of the map from Tokyo to Manhattan, New York, going to Switzerland and Belgium. So, without wasting time before starting, I really want to thank you, everyone who is watching us today. I'm very blessed to have four great founders today with me. I really enjoy. I'm very blessed to work in venture capital and spending my day and night sometimes to talk to founders. Today we have, as I said, four great, courageous founders. And I want to start with our first one, Steve Bidinger. Steve is the founder of Sky Beauty Inc., Tokyo, Japan, where Sky Beauty is headquartered. The company works in cosmetics and beauty. The investment round we are talking today is a pre-seed round, and Steve is seeking $500,000 USD. Sig, if you want to give an introduction to yourself, and we can start. Thank you.
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Steve. I'm the founder and CEO of Sky Beauty. I've been living in Japan for many years, and I've created Sky in the last few years. So Sky is a new direct-to-consumer brand with a focus on clean beauty and sustainability. As I mentioned, I've had 3 decades of experience in cosmetics. My partner, Gabriel, is a China expert. He's fluent in Mandarin and has staff in China. Our plan is very ambitious. We hope to go to 10 markets and multiple categories in the coming years. We're starting with Japan first, and China cross-border would be next. Our first products include hair care, which we make in Italy, and hair color, which we're making in Japan. The hair care is marketed as natural, organic, vegan, and eco-friendly. With this, we're targeting women and men of all ages. With the hair color, the value proposition is salon quality for home use, and Olaplex type damage care, and simple color choice. And in this case, we're targeting the home segment and women who are already dyeing their hair at home. We've partnered with world-class manufacturing and e-commerce partners. We produce enough stock for the first year, and now we're raising a pre-seed round where most of the money would be spent on advertising and promotion. Our first product, hair care, addresses an opportunity for clean and sustainable beauty. And this is actually one of the hottest trends around the world. The problem, though, with clean beauty and sustainability is how to be good to people and the environment without sacrificing performance and functionality. Our solution was to partner with people in Italy who have an organic farm and make salon products. The products are plant-based. We've obtained vegan certification, and our packaging is very eco-friendly and made from sugarcane. Here you can see the hair shampoo, which is very versatile. You can use it to wash your hair, to cleanse your scalp, or as a body wash. The hair treatment is a conditioner. You can condition your hair, you could leave it on longer as a hair mask, and you could use it as a body lotion. Our second product category is hair color. And I don't have time today to explain why we chose it, but I give you 2 key facts. One is that the market structure is very favorable. Half the market is in salons, half is at home. So direct-to-consumer provides a unique opportunity. The second is high penetration. Women of all ages, from 20s to 70s, are dyeing their hair. The problem, though, with home coloring is that the cheap boxes in the drugstores are of lower quality. People love to go to the salons, but that does take time and money. Everybody's worried about damage, and also picking colors is hard. So our value proposition is salon quality color for home use. You get higher quality and shine than the drugstore brands at half the cost. We add in an Olaplex type damage care, and we simplify the color choice, which addresses the fact that Asian hair is different. Here you can see our packaging for the hair color. We've launched recently in Japan, kind of a soft launch. We produced enough inventory for the first year, and as I mentioned, we're raising the pre-seed round. I would characterize our situation as de-risked and now focusing on product market fit. Here you can see a bit of our social media, the website. We were nominated for a Sustainable Cosmetic Award. In November, we did an event with 3 speakers, and about 200 people came. This is a very summary financial. I'm going to try to go from 0 to $60 million within 5 years and about a 20% operating margin. With this slide, you can see kind of a roadmap that we're starting with Japan, China, and we'll add markets and more categories as we go. And if, for example, we get a 1% share of the Japan home color market, we could make our figures with just Japan, just hair color. As far as use of funds, most of it would be used on advertising promotion. Our overhead is very lean. And also when we sell product, we have about a 75 to 80% gross margin. You can reach me here or through Max & Co. And I'm ready to take questions, if any. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Steve. Before I make my first question, if anyone wants to ask anything, whatever you want to say, please just write and I will bring the questions immediately to Steve or the following founders. Steve, why you have hair care, hair color? Which do you believe is the best sales is going to be? The color?
Well, as we're just getting started with minimal sales, to be honest, I'm budgeting at 50-50. And it's hard to predict because the clean and sustainable beauty is a huge market, but very competitive. The hair color, again, is a very direct, targeted opportunity to take advantage of some market characteristics. So at this point, I'm saying 50-50, but both could do extremely well.
I mean, how do you compete with the big elephants? Because that's a sector where there are very much big companies.
Yes. Well, actually, with Japan, for example, with the hair color is not a priority for the Shiseidos, the Polos of the world. They're focused on skincare. Also, with the salons, stylists typically don't tell the consumer what they're using, so it's a no-name brand. So in effect, we're going to be competing with the larger home color brands, which are kind of fat and happy. They all look the same sitting on the shelf. So again, that's one of the reasons why we picked hair color, that we don't compete with contemporary, very proactive hair dye players. It's also quasi-drug, very highly regulated, very technical. So we limit the competition that way.
Wait, how do you address the impact side of your business? I mean, is Japan, as I do believe, like Europe, US, people are always more and more keen to see if your product is in compliance with ESG and anything else. What's your point on this? How do you stand on this?
So your question is about social impact, like SDGs and things like that?
Yeah, any form of impact. For example, are your ingredients looking at it today or in the future to address also be as impactful as possible?
Yes, and that's why, again, I didn't want to be just a hair color brand. With the shampoo and treatment, the hair care, we use natural and organic ingredients. It's vegan certified, which means we don't use animal-derived ingredients or GMO or anything bad. So it's very safe, non-toxic. And then, for example, the packaging, it's a bioplastic, which is made from sugarcane. So, for example, sugarcane is one of the best plants in the world to absorb CO2. When you're making the plastic, it doesn't emit greenhouse gases, and then it's 100% recyclable. Long term, I'd like to be biodegradable, but at least we're near full circle.
I mean, in terms of pricing, I'm not going to ask you how much will be sold, but where are you going to? What's your target? Where are you going to place yourself in which exactly target of your customers?
So the shampoo and treatment are roughly $17 to $18 US, which in Japan would be kind of a mid-priced retail, not luxury, but not mass. The hair dye, which will be sold by subscription, is about $30 for the set. The salons are roughly $60, and then the home brands are roughly $10 to $30. So we're actually just above the home market and half the cost of salons. So I think a very affordable, accessible pricing. But as I look at markets like, for example, India, not for hair dye, but many of their products are $10. So we would only get the very top of the pyramid in some markets. But again, China, India, incomes are rising. So we think it'll be okay long term.
So I try to position yourself, let's say, in between.
Kind of between department stores and mass market, kind of a mid-price.
And just the very last. What about the subscription? You want to be a little bit more precise when it comes to the subscription, the membership? You've been talking something similar.
Yes. So with both actually shampoo and the hair dye, we offer people the ability to buy a single order to buy on subscription. It's kind of like an auto charge or billing. They can pick 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. So it's very convenient for them, and also we give a discount when they do the subscription. And then, using these recurring revenues, we have the ability to cross-sell and upsell other products. So it's a very beneficial way to do business.
Thank you very much, Steve. Please stay with us. I really wish you all the best for Sky Beauty, but stay with us because we are all back in that.
Thank you, Max.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Let me walk to Antimo. Antimo Fiorillo, co-founder of Elife. Elife is based in Brussels, of course, Belgium. Digital health clinical trial SaaS for healthcare. We are talking about a pre-seed round of 400K in euro. How's it going, Antimo?
Good, thank you for the intro, Max.
You're welcome. Please continue yourself. Give us a bit more flavor who you are, and after we can go through your business.
Yeah, sure. So I spent the last decade working in the pharmaceutical industry, covering a variety of roles in different business functions, in particular in R&D. And as a specialist in data integrity, I witnessed and experienced the frustration of patients, medical professionals, and CROs as a consequence of such inefficiencies. So I was convinced that there must be a better way to address this process. I searched for solution, but I couldn't find the one I was imagining. Hence, with my team, we built Elife, which stands for Alliance for Life. The real challenge in medical research is to speed up the delivery of clinical trials while retaining patients. At Elife, we want to make trial participation less costly, less time intensive, and less inefficient. And we also want to reduce the number of potential candidates which are lost before enrollment by equipping researchers and medical staff with the right tools and technology. And lastly, our ambition is to drastically reduce patient dropout. And we want to achieve this by offering an integrated SaaS platform that has been engineered to address 4 key priorities: guiding the patient along the enrollment and engagement process, making the patient interaction more dynamic with the researchers, offering a collaborative framework to sponsors, CROs, and sites, and lastly, integrating by design the strictest rules around privacy, security, and ethics. We want to achieve this with a team made up of experienced professionals with a deep knowledge of clinical domain, technology, and regulatory compliance, which are all elements very critical to navigate the complexity of this industry. Over the last decade, the number of clinical trials registered has been growing exponentially. And without a proper and robust clinical trial infrastructure, it's going to be extremely difficult to accommodate effectively such demand. Our market opportunity is huge. We are talking about a TAM of greater than 285 billion, and our service obtainable market, considering a 5% penetration on the sum, is set at around 43 billion. Regarding competition, as you can see, the competitive landscape is dominated by American established companies plus a number of US startups. And there are few European tech players present in this market segment. So we believe that this can be a great opportunity to Life to be a European champion in the intersection between patient enrollment and patient retention. Our customers are specialized and premium CROs. Our revenue streams will be made up of hybrid SaaS business model, including setup cost, subscriptions, payment milestones, and consulting services. Regarding the milestone, I'm proud to say that in 2022, the most important milestones has been the contract that we signed with Betsy, the health board of NHS Wales, and the consequent launch of the first clinical trial with NHS in the UK. The first patients are now registered and enrolled onto the platform. And few weeks ago, we expanded the partnership with NHS in Wales to attract more industry clinical trials, and we will launch soon the e-consent hybrid platform, which will bring the Life platform to the next level. We are looking to raise 400,000 euros to achieve product market fit, expand technology, and prepare for a seed round to be expected in Q1 2024. Most of those funds will be allocated in sales and marketing, R&D and product, and operation and customer success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Antimo. Let me ask you, give up in clinical trials are by far the biggest problem without any sort of confusion. Many they do not finish because patients they don't keep up to the end because they are sometimes they are upset, sometimes very complicated for them, even when it comes to arrive logistic problems, arriving to the place, how the CRO or how the drug companies talk to them and so on. So how do you address this problem on the patient side and the CRO side? How do they use your service?
Well, as you rightly said, the main problems in clinical trials is around optimizing patient identification and ensuring that the process of enrolling patients is going to be as smooth as possible. So these, and on top of this, there is the other issue, which is patient retention. So we want to optimize this process by offering, an hybrid solution. Hybrid because it's going to combine digital with analog still processes, because there are still patients that are analog. So that's also the issue that you need to tackle. And we want to essentially minimize this by offering an integrated platform with a single point of access for patients, CRO sponsors, and researchers. So this is the main focus. And by offering the patient a guided experience all along the process and intervening in advance to prevent patient dropout, because patient dropout is another key issue of clinical trials. Once you bring in a patient or a pool of patients in a clinical trial, you don't want them to abandon, because if they abandon, the loss is going to be even much important.
What about the business model? How do you generate revenue?
So we are an hybrid SaaS platform, hybrid because it's not like a plug in and play. As I explained, we have some setup cost at the start because we need to customize the trial. Every clinical trial has its own specificities. And then we go towards a more classical SaaS with a subscription. The subscription can be annual, monthly, can be linked to the number of users or the number of sites. It can be linked to the complexity of the trial. And then another important aspect of our business model is around the value of the patient. Every patient has a value. If you bring this patient all along the trial, the median value is around $41,000 US dollars. So we believe that we can take a tiny bit of that value, and this value can spread and be linked to specific milestones. And the last revenue stream is offering some consulting services, because in this field, data privacy and data security are key aspects, and we want to offer a kind of one-stop shop for our customers to avoid to delay the time of setting up the trial. So we offer also consulting services, helping them setting up the privacy framework of the clinical trial.
There's my last one. You're based in Brussels, Belgium, but your first sales, let me say this way, has been UK. What next? What's coming next? Where is your market? Your first market where you actually are going to make sure that your service fit to be
Well,
sold?
this United Kingdom is our priority for 2023. Our ambition is now to deploy the platform in the 4 devolved nations. So we started with Wales. There are advanced talks in the UK, then Scotland, and Ireland. And in our home market, which is Belgium, we also aiming to launch, hopefully, by the end of Q2 2023, the first clinical trial.
Antimo, thank you very much. Stay with us, and I really wish you all the best. But don't go, please.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
My pleasure. I want to introduce our third founder, Pooja Mahagyam. Pooja is the founder of Azera. Azera is headquartered in Switzerland and Canada. Sector climate, fintech, B2B SaaS. We are talking about a seed round of USD 1 million. Welcome, Pooja. How's it going?
Thank you, Max. Good. Thank you. Good evening, everyone, or good morning, or good good late evening. A bit about myself.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I am originally made in Canada and Canadian by birth, and I have lived in various places in the world. And I've spent the vast majority of my career, over 25 years, in aviation, private aviation to be specific. I'm a mechanical engineer with environmental engineering degree as well. And in my experience in aviation, I spent a lot of time in aircraft operations and managing aircraft or fleets of aircraft of private jets, of aircraft for companies and ultra high net worth individuals. I was the CEO of a significant European aircraft management company and charter company. And during that journey of over 25 years, I have experienced it has been, a great career path. However, in the last 10 years, there's been a shift, as in Europe, we've been faced with the European emissions trade scheme. And we had to begin to start to measure the emissions of our aircraft and report those emissions and enter into a compliance trading scheme. This was a tremendous challenge as an aircraft operator, and I experienced that firsthand, and I realized this is just so difficult, and it's coming for the rest of the world in aviation. It's not there yet, but it is. And as a result of these challenges, and also sort of the need to do something meaningful and impactful to give back to this industry that has been so rewarding to me, we decided to build Azera, which means it comes from the Italian word azzerare, which means to reset to zero. So our goal is to reset aviation's climate legacy.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Okay, so every minute, some 70 aircraft take off into the sky. And each of those aircraft on their journey will emit on average about 25 tons of greenhouse gas emissions. That's about 1,750 tons of greenhouse gas emissions generated by aircraft every single minute. Now, aircraft owners and operators, they know that they have a problem. They understand and they want to do something. However, furthermore, they're facing upcoming compliance in the form of EU ETS, as well as CORSIA, which is a program that the International Aviation Transport Association has implemented and will begin very shortly, requiring operators to report their emissions and offset their emissions above a certain threshold. Unfortunately, today in the marketplace, there is no tool to help operators manage their emissions. Until now, we are building at Azera a B2B SaaS platform which integrates the operating software of a flight of an aircraft operator and integrates through API calls into our platform. So flight data that then allows us to calculate the emissions and generate emissions reports. These reports will comply to the latest compliance requirements for CORSIA or the European Trading Scheme or other compliance markets as required. And in that platform, the user can then manage those emissions by acquiring the required carbon credits, whether it's voluntary or compliance, and even reduce the emissions, the net emissions, by buying sustainable aviation fuel credits. So in effect, what we're doing with our platform is creating a direct path of action for aviation companies. We're allowing for, we're ensuring reporting compliance in one platform. We're allowing for transaction transparency, as the platform is based on a blockchain-based ledger for all transactions are recorded on a ledger. And that allows for operators to demonstrate their actions in an auditable, a way that can be audited. And as well, all of the products, the carbon credits that we list on the exchange would be rated with our impact scoring system. We have a team of researchers that research the carbon credits and make sure and assess them with significant due diligence. So we have a rating system. We also, in this platform, allow for reduced workload for the operator. We have one platform to do all of the things they need to do to ensure compliance. The market opportunity for this endeavor is enormous. We know if we take a look at the carbon market and current carbon market rates, emissions generated from just aviation and shipping in the world will equate to about $4.9 billion. We believe with Azera, we can obtain about 15% of that, or 740 million, from our aviation market. And we know that aviation is growing at a CAGR of 4%. We know that our platform is a unique platform in the marketplace. It's one of a kind. We are the only marketplace, we are the only platform that caters to the compliance requirements of the sector, allows for emissions measurements and reporting, and has a trading platform to allow for carbon credit trading, all in one platform. This is a one-stop shop for emissions management. We have assembled a very talented and diverse team of subject matter experts. Our CTO, who is building our platform, has 25 years of software engineering. Our Chief Science Officer has a PhD in carbon cycle modeling. And our head of carbon mitigation is a senior carbon market analyst. We also have an environmental engineer, an architect with a sustainability studies degree, and a very high-tech IT guy in our SEO expert. Both my co-founder and myself are from private aviation. We've both had over 25 years. We've worked together ourselves in various roles for 20 years in private aviation. And we've had a lot of experience running companies and building companies. My, in particular, pleasure in building Azera comes from my background where I did a degree in environmental engineering, as I said earlier. And so for me, this is sort of a convergence of both my passion of aviation and my love of doing something for the environment. So far, since launching last year, we've gained incredible traction. We have secured a partner in Canadian-based InnovaBot, and they have been the ones helping us in the development of our MVP platform. We were also accepted last year, at the end of last year, into the Swiss-based F10, now it's called Tenity, just rebranded this week, accelerator program for climate fintech. We have achieved pre-platform trade volume of 350,000. So we have been doing advisory and brokerage of carbon credits with clients and bringing clients on board with this concept. and we've already sold $350,000 worth of carbon credits. And in terms of our capacity, we have secured access to over 12 million tons of high quality carbon credits that are all registered on recognized registries. In terms of monetization, currently in pre-platform, we base on transaction fees. Once the platform is launched, it'll be again transaction fees as well as a subscription model. We have a clear go-to-market strategy, which allows us to achieve our target of 25 million by 2027. We also wish to achieve 5,000 customers at that point. Our role is to try and scale up through expansion to other sectors beyond aviation. How we would do this is, again, API integration with other GHG calculating platforms and other sectors like shipping, like freight, like trains, etc. We plan also to use API integration to expand our supply base with other marketplaces, as well to develop a digital registry, which will allow us to expedite the development of carbon credits and use eventually AI for futures creation of carbon credits. Our ask today is 1 million in a safe or convertible loan. We plan to release our MVP in the next month for commercial use, and we would invite investors and partners to come in and join us in our mission to reset aviation's climate legacy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pooja. Can we start with your first slide? The very first one with this astonishing number.
Sure. Do you want me to go back?
Yes, the first one. Just the first 1,700 and something close by.
Yeah.
So if this is not a problem, what can be described as a problem? That's a nightmare. It's not a problem, right? So we are not solving a problem. We must solve a nightmare. 1,750 tons of CO2 per minute.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I mean,
this is conservative. This can be even worse if you take into account the vapor.
I remember during pandemic, it's huge discussion. People that will never travel, they travel double time, except corporations, but because they're cutting costs, not because they are that much aware that we are destroying everything. But let me ask you: can we just talk a bit more in details about your hybrid use of the platform, transactions when it comes to credit, at the same time subscriptions, at the same time aviation? I do believe you are moving to shipping very soon. So can you give us a very helicopter view on this?
Yeah. So the target audience or target customer is an operator of aircraft. And so for them, it's a B2B SaaS model. Our goal is to charge a subscription to use the platform. The platform itself will automatically, through the API calls, calculate the emissions of their aircraft fleet. If let's say they have 10 aircraft in their fleet, those 10 aircraft would be automatically listed in the platform in a user profile with the emissions of each flight, each month, depending on how they want to divide their data, and be able to generate compliance reports. They have to report their emissions to compliance bodies. All of this can be done, PDF report of the compliance needs, but as well access the exchange, this trading platform, to acquire carbon credits. Each acquisition or transaction is then subject to a transaction fee.
How do you supply your platform with carbon credit?
So this is the work we've been doing with the team that I discussed earlier. We've been really focused on building our network, our supply network, in the last year in parallel with the MVP development. So we have now secured access to over 12 million tons of carbon credits. We have agreements with specific suppliers. We are Canadian and Swiss, so our advantage is we are working with both European and Canadian and North American suppliers. And particularly in Canada, there's a huge shift, and the whole world is shifting towards, and the governments are funding a lot of these suppliers. So we're just trying to develop those relationships and develop and give them a platform where they can sell, and they can actually increase the value of their credits through trade.
Okay, that was my last, my next question. What about the prices of these credit emission?
Yeah, you know, this is a question that is really important. So the pricing is currently, there's no sort of standardized pricing. It's based on methodology, cost to develop the credit. It's based on the supplier's wish. You know, how much he wishes or she wishes to charge per ton of carbon credit removed or reduced from the atmosphere. It's how much it costs. For example, we have carbon credits from hydropower that are $4 per ton. We also have carbon credits from the Swiss company Climeworks that sucks emissions from the atmosphere, carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. It's $900 per ton. It really depends on the methodology, the impact. So how long will this carbon stay out of the atmosphere? So this is the work that we do on our side to really do the due diligence. We go through the paperwork, we talk to the suppliers, we assess the permanence, we assess the addition. Is this project going to exist without funding? That's something we also try to make sure. Additionality. What kind of sustainable development goals are being addressed in this project? We highlight that. We make sure that we are finding and digging deep to make sure we're finding the most impactful projects. And if they're not so impactful, then their pricing should reflect that.
I mean, what about the compliance? Are you going to report, or they must report themselves?
So it's up to the operator to report. Currently, for example, in EU ETS, aircraft operators, 99% of them, they're doing this process on their own, which is they have a spreadsheet, they calculate the emissions, then they send it to a validator. The validator validates the emissions, and then they send it to the EU ETS board for approval. It's a little bit of a multi-step process, and it's somebody in the operation. That's not their role. Their role is usually not to do emissions measurement, right? So this is an extra task that operators don't have as a core competency. So what we're trying to do is take this workload away and simplify.
Let me close with the vision. I didn't ask to everyone, but I love asking to any founder, any entrepreneur, where would you like to go? I mean, where really would you like to see your company in 3-5 years' time?
Yeah, I definitely would love to develop our model from a scale perspective into an ecosystem. We really want to touch as many people in this climate change ecosystem as possible. So both suppliers and users of the platform, by growing the ability to access other sectors like shipping, freight, etc. So as many sectors as we can, but also growing this ecosystem, supporting these small and mid-sized companies that are trying to develop carbon credits, that are innovating with new technology to fight climate change. That's what we want to do. We want to build this ecosystem to create something that's really making an impact.
Pujan, thank you so much. You're really doing something great. Stay with us because we are coming back soon.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm moving to our last, but absolutely not the least. Sean is our last founder, but for sure this is not the least one. Sean Kami is coming from New York City, Manhattan. He's the founder of Gradito. Sean, thank you so much for coming. If you want to give an introduction to yourself, and we go to business. Gradito. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Sean here, founder of Gradito. And in the spirit of cherishing our customers' homes and inspired through trips throughout Italy, we've created a Fiverr for personal chefs, the same way that Fiverr tech freelancers use Fiverr to automate their work. We have created Gradito to automate a personal chef's work. I am a personal chef, have been working as a private chef for years, earning six figures, and the system for booking a private chef is very analog. It relies on waiting for contact forms to be returned, making phone calls, waiting for emails to be returned. We've created a SaaS marketplace to automate the whole process. So I'll get right into it.
Let's go, Sean. Let's talk about Gradito.
All right, here we are. So Gradito is Italian for welcome or appreciated, and we are opening the doors to delicious and exclusive experiences. As I've mentioned, very analog system at the moment. Customers are required to submit request forms or ask their friends for referrals for a pref. We have created a SaaS marketplace to automate the trusted and talented private chefs for booking for 2 to 12 people. And each curated meal is based on several points of data collection. And these points can be used to further personalize the customer experience and understand buyer behavior. Affiliations with champagne brands, wine brands, caviar brands allow for endless marketing possibilities. Some screenshots of the app. So enormous market potential here. Our SaaS marketplace also allows for the ability to acquire an event space with transparent pricing. As I'd mentioned briefly, hyper-personalization of luxury ingredients. When you're using the application, you are answering several yes/no questions, sort of swiping left and right the same way you would potential dates on Tinder. And this information is used to, one, create a personalized menu for you as a diner, as someone throwing a party with a trusted and talented chef. But also that information can be used for hyper-personalizing the experience and push notifications for luxury brands, a certain Barolo that you had enjoyed in a previous dinner may be available to you with in-app purchase the following time that you use the app. Hospitality Pro staffing is an enormous $1,886.6 billion industry. We feel with our SaaS marketplace that we can acquire 3 billion of that through automation. Measuring soft skills of the line level employees, the trusted and talented private chefs. We're able to connect people with the most suitable match for them for domestic help or help throwing a dinner party. So currently, recruiters are taking 20 to 25% of each household staffing or connecting for a dinner party. We take a scalable 14% of each meal. We're offering also a meal subscription plan, which will chefs will incur no decrease in their salary, but we will take a 6% hit for the meal subscription plan and personalized affiliate marketing. So hyper personalizing the app, in-app purchases, email marketing throughout the application. So here's a typical transaction for a 5-person dinner. And Gradito earns about 130, 170 per dinner. And pricing starting as low as 150 per person, 2 to 12 people. And the US market is 6 million. We feel that aspirationally it can be twice that. We're targeting every large market city throughout the US, starting with New York City, Manhattan, where there are 8 million people. and no real go-to service for the everyman to book a trusted and talented private chef. So using a customer data platform, we're able to target the people who will be using the service and match them appropriately with private chefs and sommeliers for service throughout their own home. And we feel that the customer data platform in about year 3 will be really where the opportunity lies. And we also predict a high virality rate for the application. And we're predicting 1 chef for about every 7 users and about a $30 customer acquisition cost. 550 names and emails for an email marketing campaign. We've just submitted the app to the App Store a couple of days ago and waiting on approval. We have been operating in test flight mode. US private chefs earn 6 figures, and there's no real way to automate their work. Our aim for the application is to create a platform where chefs would prefer to be booked through rather than the analog way. So a Stripe is integrated within the application, and groceries and travel budget is given to the chef 48 hours prior to the event, and they're paid via an automated invoice. 1099 employees, and they are paid 24 hours after their experience. A myriad of cross-selling opportunities. So customers have the option to add a sommelier to their booking. We will also offer follow-ups with sommeliers for special pricing, non-alcoholic drink pairings. You can discover and purchase high-quality gourmet products around a chef's curated menu. So I'm a marketing MBA, have worked in the world's best restaurants in Australia, Tokyo, Barcelona, Warsaw. Also have worked as a private chef for some time. Partner Arnold is the founder of seethings.co, a 40-person tech company. They specialize in IoT and software. And Tatiana is full-time as our project manager. And Marek, consultant, is the head of global brand management and innovation at Moet. So we believe in the power of welcoming, respecting and cherishing our customer space. We believe in a collective experience. So we bring chefs and curious customers together in their own homes. We believe in sustainability and excellence. So we use every single element of our ingredients. And we're predicting 400K for our customers. It can also be aspirational. We will offer group billing. And go-to-market strategy is hyper-personalized email campaign with a complimentary wine pairing, $25 bottle to complement the chef's signature menu, or if the menu is organized within our in-app messenger, we will create bespoke wine pairing for the first experience. It's super fast, and it's able to connect you with the most suitable chef based on our proprietary algorithm. Several ways to connect you with the most suitable chef and sommelier for your booking. Asking for 500K for 10%. Half will be for general corporate purposes. More input on R&D, and 25% for talent acquisition. So thank you very much for being a part of the pitch.
Thank you so much, Sean. I hope you can hear me now. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's great, Max.
Great. Sometimes technology, I love technology, but sometimes it just let me down. Let me ask you, it's pretty clear the value proposition for the chef. And a friend of mine is a press chef. He loves this kind of application in London. But what the value proposition for people booking chef? Are they going to pay more or less? And how easy is for them to find a good chef? And are they rated in somehow?
I'm sorry, the last element of your
Are
question,
they,
Max?
are they rated in
Yes.
somehow?
So firstly, value prop for the chef. Chefs are able to at a minimum day rate. So if you're booked for less than your minimum day rate, it won't happen. Even the scope of the menu is less than say your $700 day rate. You can stand to earn more depending on the number of people and the size of the menu. Customers are able to choose between 3-course classic, 5-course elevated, or 7-course luxury menus. And there is a rating system for chefs. So they're rated based on food and service out of 5 stars, sommeliers out of wine and service 5 stars, and you are connected with the highest rated chef or sommelier based on your choices. So this is the motivation to earn a high rating, similar to Airbnb's system. Yeah.
I mean, you are democratizing having chef home as Uber has been with having your chauffeur, right? Someone, your pride driver coming home and pick you up. My question is, how do you balance the subscription with the charging for each booking?
Sure. So go-to-market will be strictly transactional, but we will offer subscription pricing, taking less but a more scalable percentage to ensure a more consistent MRR.
I mean, in terms of market, today is US, very much so. New York, what's going to be after? You want to move? I mean, the name is pretty much Italian name. Are you going
Sure.
to move to Europe?
Yes, the vision is for every large market city in the world, 36.6 billion dollar industry, global catering services growing at a CAGR of 6.5% until 2026. And there is no gold standard the way that there's an Airbnb for finding a vacation rental. The Airbnb Lux hosts still resolve with a very analog procedure of contacting concierges, local concierges who they know. And we're hoping through value creation to be a household name in the private dining industry.
I really wish you all the best, Sean. Stay here because we are all together right now. So, Steve, Pooja, and Antimo, please, we are all back. And as I always like to do, I'm very sorry today. I had very many problems with my microphone, okay, but we have to keep doing everything, and we run until then smoothly, with or without microphone. As I always like to close, is giving you guys half minute, 1 minute of saying to investors why they should invest in yourself, your team, and of course your company. So if you want to start, Steve, you are probably it's going to 2:30 for you already, pretty late for you. So please go.
Okay, thank you, Max. So in summary, I would say that we are going after very tiny slices of huge opportunities, both the clean and sustainable beauty, and then the direct-to-consumer hair color. Our business model, there are success cases, proof of concept in the US and Japan, but we are adapting those for Asia. We have world-class partners and products, 2 founders with relevant domain expertise, And then lastly, if we make our 5-year sales figure with a typical valuation for a cosmetic brand, people in our pre-seed round may enjoy, and again, this is hypothetical, a return of 50, 60 times or more. So that's kind of my closing pitch. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Steve. Antimo. You're muted. You're following me.
Yeah.
That's the beauty. That's the beauty of a go live. That's like go live.
Yeah. No, Max, thank you. I would say that AirLife is bringing first to market a solution, at least in the European landscape, which integrates in one single platform with one single point of access to important experience for the patients, patient enrollment and engagement. And this is extremely important. The second reason why is related to privacy. This platform has been architected and engineered by a seasoned team made up of experienced professionals with a deep knowledge into privacy, into security. So as such, the platform incorporates by design the strictest rules which applies in the EU. There is a massive market opportunity that I have shown, and we are embedding AirLife into the NHS infrastructure. So that's my final point.
Thank you, Antimo. Pooja.
Thank you, Max. Well, I think I won't receive any arguments to say that there's probably no greater concern for at least the younger generation than climate change. And our goal is, starting with aviation, is to tackle this latency of action without compliance and with compliance of companies who, by making it effortless to act, to turn emissions into action, to do something and create an ecosystem where everyone is thinking about and acting against climate change through their actions and meeting their compliance needs. It starts with aviation. We plan on building beyond that. And in terms of the team, we have the team to do this. And in terms of the co-founders, we are highly experienced and understand what it means to grow an organization. And we are ready for this. And I think we have the momentum and support of not only the masses in terms of the general population. We have already received traction and buy-in, but also on the other side, governments, funding, regulation is coming to support this business, and we want to be the backbone. So thank you. Join us.
Thank you so much, Pooja. Sean, you are the one who's going to close today. Please.
Thank you, Max. So the interesting thing about our platform is that it connects people with chefs based on their preferences. No, you don't need to make a phone call or write an email. And this proprietary technology is not limited to at-home chef services. By measuring soft skills of domestic employees, we are able to disrupt a multi-billion-dollar domestic recruitment industry. And I am looking for a VC who believes in the sophistication of Gradito.
Sean, thank you very much. Thank you, Steve, Antimo, Pooja. It's been a very great pleasure for me. I really wish you the best. I hope in Equity Match we can help you as much as we can in raising these funds and make sure that your dream will be straight to the end, becoming a great, great company, which is at the beginning, the end, but it's absolutely the beginning of your journey. Thank you very much. Thank you to everyone who's watching today, our audience, and see you next week on Tuesday, 5 p.m. UK time. Good night, good evening,
you.
depending
Good
on
night.
where you are.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Max, thank you.
Thank you.